How do you do, fellow trainers? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about my draft breakdown for the new draft league on the channel, the BRL, or go ahead and get your chuckles in now, the Breedables Royale League. Now, you'll see in the thumbnail that by the logo, it is a Chansey reference, but we can go ahead and get our chuckles in as we play in the Breedables League. So this is a Natdex Low tier draft, and I'm going to explain that to you real quick. A Natdex tier is just like we did in Little Cup, where every Pokemon is available in their Little Cup Little Cup variation. But this time it's Natdex Big Boys. It's every Pokemon, except there's a power block here. This format bans Pokemon with two that you don't normally see played in lower tier formats. So this means that Pokemon like Dragonite or Scizor will not be here. Pokemon like that are not allowed in this low tier format. The strongest Pokemon we have here are examples like Heracross, Gallade, and as you can see, my first overall pick, Starmie. So this tier is really fun. You get to use a lot of Pokemon that you would never use because you have better replacements for them. But with this, I'm really excited too. This is the first low tier Natdex I've tried. I've tried low tier many a time, and that's always fun. But Natdex is always fun to add more Pokemon in on top of that, because I love to use Pokemon that were never used, and they combine well with Pokemon that are in the newer games, such as like combining Pokemon that got cut from Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet with Pokemon that are still in the game. So the combinations are wild and awesome, and the Pokemon team building is limitless. So I want to go ahead, we're just going to break down this very nice and easy. I'm going to try to get through this as fast as possible because we got a lot to talk about. But anyway, while we get into it, I just want to remind y'all to please just like the video, comment, and subscribe so you know when I put out these draft videos for this league and for the NACL that we're still running on the channel. Anyway, let's go ahead and go into it. So Starmie was my first pick. I was 12th in the draft, so I had to wait quite a bit for my first pick. And I chose Starmie because it is a great rapid spinner. It's in a great speed tier. Water and Psychic is good offensively, and I feel like on top of this, Starmie is positioned to be really strong in a lower tier draft. 115 is a great speed tier to hit, and like I said, the lower we go, the less speed stats, the more speed stats matter. And it's also got great coverage in Thunderbolt, Ice Beam. It's an all-round all-star, which is why I went to go with it. Next up, Megas are allowed in this, so when I was looking at all of the Mega Pokemon, and I saw Steelix, it was up there, it's like 16-pointer, 20 being the max points. I was like, there is no other Mega I see worth more to me than Steelix. So I chose this because if you look at this defense stat without even looking at the numbers, it's huge. Base 230 defense, and even special defense, base 95 is not bad. With base 75 HP and 125 attack, this thing is going to be brought almost every game because there is no defensive wall that beats this. Steel Ground is a good typing. I am weak to a few things, but I've built the team to be able to absorb. We went really defensive with this team draft. I will say that we have a good defensive core, being able to sub out when Steelix is in a bad matchup. But mainly Steelix is there for defense, and also it is a stealth rocker. And I've used it once before, and I want to use it again. I love Mega Steelix. Next up, so we got our defensive ball here, so we chose our special defensive ball in Dragalge. Poison Dragon is a great typing because it's not scared of fairies. And Dragalge also is a got a surprisingly offensive capability because of its ability, adaptability. And one of my favorite sets to run is Life Orb adaptability. This Poison Dragon is offensively good typing, just like Starmie, but you can build Dragalge very specially bulky and not have to put too much investment, and you can focus on the special attack or go the other way, go full defensive. And even with this little bit of investment, Life Orb adaptability makes Sludge Waves and Draco Meteors hit even harder. So I'm excited to use Dragalge. I have experience using it. I've used it many times in on ladder, actually, with PU and NU. And I've also used it in draft before. It has come through clutch. I'm excited I was able to pick this up. These three were the most expensive of the draft. 20 for Starmie, 16 for Mega Steelix, and 16 for Dragalge. We go a little cheaper for the rest of the draft. But yeah, that It's also a grounded poison type, so we don't have to worry about toxic spikes, but this does get toxic spikes, so we can send them back. Next up, we picked the Pokemon from Natdex that I have never used before, and I've always wanted to, because it's the fastest normal Pokemon, minus Regieleki and Deoxys speed. I think it's the regular, yeah, it's the base 160 speed Ninjask. So this needs no introduction. I'm outspeeding everything in the Natdex tier. There is no Pokemon with a higher speed stat than me. I think even some Megas can't hit the speed. Mega Aerodactyl I don't think is allowed, which is 150, but we're hitting at 160. Then we've also got support moves on Ninjask, such as Defog and Toxic. Defog for putting some boots on this. We'll have the fastest Defog in the game, as well as the fastest Toxic in the game. This is going to be a really good hazard mon. I'm sorry, a really good utility mon. And it gets Swords Dance, which if we don't always have to run max speed, probably, going into our matches. So if we wanted to run Adamant, we're hitting, and for some reason it lowers my Vs, but if we're hitting 306 and we hit one Swords Dance off, we're hitting 600 attack on a 419 speed body. I feel like Ninjask could carry, surprisingly, get some hits here and there. There's, and I think you can see the Arboliva on screen. There's room for Grassy Seed, Grassy Seed Acrobatics, coming from Ninjask off of Swords Dance. Like, I really believe in Ninjask. It's got a small move pool, but it's got great utility. I'm really excited to use it. I want to see this thing work. I've used a Selgor before, which is like your fast bug type, but this brings it to a different level. Because with speed boost, I'm never going to be outsped, and I wish Baton Pass was legal, but I think that's for the best that it's not. Next up, I spoke about my defensive core before, but we're going to go straight into it. Belly Bolt. This thing is a nuisance, and it just got promoted to NU recently. I was using this in PU. This thing is unstoppable. This thing's HP stat on top of its just natural bulk. I mean, defensively and specialty defensively. And with Electromorphosis backing up for us to have a little bit of a boost to our next special attack. It's pretty good. You can run Static for a double hazard. This gets Toxic, Slack Off. Volt Switch for pivoting, Substitute to be really annoying, and slap some leftovers or a Rocky Helmet on this thing and call it a day. If you notice, between Steelix, Dragalge, and Belly Bolt, I have a seeming ground weakness, which is why I got Ninjask. But on top of that, we're going to go straight into Arboliva, which is another special ball, but can be run defensively. Arboliva with Seed Sower. Seed Sower allows me to get Grassy Surge up, or Grassy Terrain up when it's hit. And this weakens all ground type moves around me. Well, it weakens Earthquake, which is the most common ground type move. So this is like a pseudo, gets rid of, and it resists ground naturally anyway. So this is my counter to Earthquake, as it will hit my team, and the rest of my members can be hit hard by it as well. But about Arboliva, so she is a great synergy with the other bulky Pokemon I got on the team, such as Steelix, Belly Bolt, and you see Magmar right here is also part of my defensive team, and Gramble. These all will be brought to. I thought about needing a variety of defensive tools because of the typing variety that Natdex allows. We can have so many different Pokemon, you can't account for every single situation, so I tried to go wide with my defensive core, and I got more of my offensive threats are here and there. I really wanted to go defensive this draft. So she also has the ability to trigger, like I said, Ninjask's Acrobatics and Lipard's Unburden. This is also it's got Strength Sap, it's got Healing, Leftovers. Put this on there. It's got great coverage and Alluring Voice and Earth Power. I believe in Believe It. I've used it before. But yeah, next up is Lipard, and this is another Natdex pick I was decided to use. Never used it. I really wanted a fast dark type, and I was looking at a Lowland Persian and stuff like that, but I wanted to use something different. So I chose Liepard, and I also chose Liepard for its amazing abilities in Prankster and Unburden. So, like I said, with our Believo, we can get off a nice little speed boost with Grassy Seed. And then we can also use Prankster for Thunderwave, Fake Out. It has Fake Out, it has Knockoff. It's just a great all-around fast utility Pokemon. Yeah, I think Liepard is going to perform nicely. With that 108 speed, it's just right there between 105 and 110. I feel like that's a great speed tier to hit. And like I said, we can make it even faster with Unburden. And I really believe in Liepard over the Lowland Persian that I could have used, but I just wanted to go for something different. Speaking of something that I've used before, Magmar. Now, I chose Magmar over Magmortar. It was a couple points cheaper, because with this thing in an Eviolite, it's more bulkier than Magmortar, and it hits about the same anyway. Magmar can be run physically or special. It's pretty good either way. It gets priority in Mach Punch. It gets Clear Smog to remove blocking, like, defensive setup Pokemon. It's got Will-O-Wisp support, Toxic support. It gets coverage moves in Psychic and Scorching Sands. I believe in Magmar. I've used it once in my very first Natdex Low tier, and it performed well. Flame Body to get rid of that, to get birds, and Vital Spirit. I don't think Sleep's allowed in this one, but I will most likely be using Flame Body. Wrapping up the rest of this, I needed a fairy type, and I was surprised that there was a cheap fairy type available in Granbull, as we've seen in my Little Cup draft. Stubble is running house, so I was like, what about Daddy? What about Daddy Granbull? Let's try it. So Intimidate, again, defensive for Amble is an option, just like Snubble. It doesn't have Eviolite, though, so we might not be doing it. I'd actually like to see a Choice Scarf Granbull and Max Attack Adamant. I would like to run this very offensively, because you saw all the coverage. It gets all the Fang moves, all the punch moves. It gets Earthquake. I really want to make Granbull probably a surprise attacker. We also have Quick Feet and Rattled. Rattled is no joke, because of other Intimidates. It gets a speed boost. We could be using that in combination with our fast attacking Granbull. It also gets Quick Feet. So I could run a Toxic Orb and give it Facade Quick Feet. I think that would be really cool of an idea, and play Rough Stab. Yeah, so that's Granbull. I'm excited to use this. And my last pick, I wanted something right in the middle of the speed tiers. So I chose Sock, and I wanted a fighting type on the team. As you can see, I don't have one in my Little Cup draft, and I desperately feel like a fighting type with some good coverage moves will cover my offensive spread way better. So Sock was right there in the middle at 85 speed, and with Choice Scarf again, I want something in the middle of speed so I can outspeed most things. And it's also got Mold Breaker, which is really good with Earthquake, and Sturdy, so I can run this with something cheeky. I really want to use Sock. It's a Pokemon I've never used, and I mean, look at it gets all the punches. It gets Stone Edge, it gets Throat Chop, Zen Headbutt, Toxic even. So we could do something like Sturdy Counter. Like, you know, the opportunities are, the possibilities are endless with Sock. That's really the team. I'm sorry if I rushed through it much. There's just, it's pretty basically simple. These are Pokemon that are not really used at all. I play a lot of the lower end tiers like PU and ZU, so I've used most of these Pokemon before. But the ones I didn't use, like Ninjask and Liepard, I'm so excited to use. And my three heavy hitters right here, Dragalge, Starmie, and Steelix, are probably going to carry the show. Well, that's it for my draft breakdown. This is, and I forgot to tell you, we are in the Manaphy division for all intents and purposes. That just is the name of the division we're in under the BRL. I should have the video of the first week. We have to play it this week, and then I should have it up right after our Little Cup draft week. I think we're on week 4 now. Week 4 of that and week 1 of this will be uploaded soon. I'll get this draft breakdown uploaded for y'all. And please, specifically comment below if you made this part of the video. Make sure you like it, by the way. But comment below which one of these Pokemon you think will have the best time this season, and what do you think is the underdog on the team. Alright, thanks guys. I will catch y'all in the next one. Y'all have a blessed day.